Welcome to The Naomi Show.
Hello there, I'm Naomi Robson and welcome to the program. Now I'm joined today by psychologist and sex expert Dr. Jan Hall, who's here to discuss what a woman can do if her man has lost interest in sex. The situation that we're describing here is one that I think from both points of view, both the man and the woman, the man obviously knows he's not interested in sex. He hasn't been interested in it for a while perhaps. So there must be something going on in his mind as well. What are some of the challenges that women face when they go to talk to their man about this kind of problem?
Well, no man wants to be pointed at as being the problem. Look, some of the men, though, Naomi, are actually porn addicts. You know, they've been watching so much what we call fantasy sex, pornography sex, that they have become, you know, disinterested in their partner because she's too vanilla.
Seriously?
Yes, we often get that sort of situation coming into the clinic. But for some other men, sometimes...
How would you know if that was the situation with your partner? I mean,
oh, well, usually women get...
you wouldn't know about it.
Well, you just go to look at the computer and look at the history. Women are very sneaky, you know. And nowadays it can be on the mobile phone as well, of course. Or there'd be literature hidden in the top of the cupboard. Or one bloke used to keep his in the spare tyre part of in the boot of the car. Oh, so, you know, if you are suspicious, then I wouldn't blame you for sneaking around.
So find out if there's something other than just maybe some kind of mental problem that he might have, and you say sometimes stress can be one of the main
and depression
killers. Yeah,
you know, and men deny that they're depressed, and maybe he needs to go to the doctor and the medical doctor in the first instance and get a checkup. And then, of course, the medical doctor nowadays can make a referral to a psychologist on Medicare, where you can get a substantial amount back. Mm-hmm. So that way, you know, if it's more the medical model, because a man doesn't like to admit that he's got some kind of psychological or emotional problem.
No, I think it's really tough, because what you're saying basically is you clearly can't push a man to be interested in sex, and you can't push him on the issue. It's one of those very delicate situations for a woman, isn't it? Because he's then got to be in some way, shape or form happy enough and trust the situation enough to go to see a psychologist, really. Is that really the only answer? Because can it cure itself?
Well, holiday sex is usually, you know, a good jump start. But I've had, you know, a woman come back from a 10-day holiday in Noosa and say, you know, I was putting on my lingerie and my bikini and I was all waxed and flossed and ready, and you know, he just still wasn't interested. So, you know, there comes a point where nobody wants to be rejected anymore.
Well, that's right.
And then she becomes depressed.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it seems to be an issue that if a woman can't get her man to admit to a problem, if she can't get him to go to a therapist, what are her options?
Look, at the end of the day, no sex really should be a deal breaker. You know, I talk about how we have a relationship connection, spirit, mind, heart and body. And so if this was a table with 4 legs and sex is the one leg that's not there, the table falls over. Yeah. And so does your relationship. And let's face it, if you're constantly getting rejected and you're starting to doubt your own attractiveness, next step is to test it out with somebody else. So then you'll have an affair, and then you've got an excuse, I call it the stepping stone exit, for being able to walk away with your head up high, that you did everything you could and it wasn't you. So women will finally say, look, it's not me, it's him. I do have some, though, that still stay.
Yes.
They don't like to feel
it must be so frustrating, though.
Yeah, well, it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, then they have to get out their trusty little Mr. Buzzy the vibrator and keep themselves happy that way.
Now, do you have any success stories for us of people who may have gone through this and actually found that it's actually turned out all right in the end, that the man has actually become more interested in sex over a bit of time? Well, and how have they done it?
There's always some success stories, and that's, you know, very rewarding for everybody. Well, you know, perhaps the hormones did need to be checked, and he may need to have some kind of hormone therapy. But, you know, if the woman can help take some of the stress away. You know, maybe he's in a job that he really hates, but he's never wanted to let you down by saying, you know, I really don't want to be, you know, in the corporate world. I want to be a landscape designer or something like that. So I've had one situation where that's what he wanted, wanted to be taken out of the rat race, out of the high pressure. So brainstorming, you know, other options for, you know, are we really happy in this lifestyle? Maybe he needs a sea change.
And I guess it comes down to communication, doesn't it? Having really good communication.
It's the key.
And doing it very gently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And picking your time, yeah, and reminding him of all the nice things about him before you start saying, but there's one thing that's not quite right.
Okay, Dr. Jan, thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
Your love life, let's talk about it at naomishow.com.